Imagine losing 45 years of your life for a crime you never committed, locked in a tiny cell, watching the world move on without you. That's the reality for thousands of wrongfully convicted people in America. The justice system is supposed to be blind, but it seems like it's wearing a blindfold, made of bullshit. Let's talk about Richard Phillips. Richard was just a regular guy, living his life, until it was stolen from him. Accused of murder based on what can only be described as the flimsiest of evidence. No DNA, no murder weapon, no credible witnesses. Just a story that fell apart faster than a cheap suit in a rainstorm. And yet Richard was convicted, sentenced to life without parole.
I spent 45 years, 4 decades, over 16,000 sunrises and sunsets, locked away for a crime I didn't commit. 45 years of birthdays missed, of hugs not given, of life passing me by.
Finally, in 2017, DNA testing proved what Richard had been saying all along. He was innocent. The real kicker, the actual killer, had confessed years earlier. But did anyone listen? Of course not. And the compensation for this miscarriage of justice? A paltry $1.5 million. That's about $91 per day for being wrongfully imprisoned. You know what you get for $91 a day at a decent hotel? A slightly better continental breakfast and maybe a robe you wouldn't be caught dead in. Kathy Wood's story is just as infuriating. She was dealing with mental health issues, as many people do, and was admitted to a psychiatric hospital. Now, you'd think she'd be able to, get some help. Instead, she was railroaded into confessing to a murder she had absolutely nothing to do with. They took advantage of her vulnerability, her mental state, and coerced a confession. No physical evidence, no connection to the victim, just a forced confession from a woman who needed help, not handcuffs.
I spent 35 years behind bars. Think about that for a second. 35 years. That's longer than some of you watching this have been alive.
Finally, in 2014, DNA evidence revealed the real killer, who, surprise, surprise, was already in prison for another crime. Kathy was awarded $3 million in compensation. But here's the thing. Can you really put a price tag on 35 years of your life? 35 years of stolen moments, of lost opportunities, of being robbed of your freedom? The answer, quite frankly, is a resounding no. And then there's
Daryl Hunt. Just 19 years old when my life was tragically derailed by a system rigged against me. Accused of murder, I maintained my innocence. No evidence, no DNA, no motive. But racial bias sealed my fate. I spent 19 years in prison. DNA exonerated me, but the scars remained. In 2016, still haunted, I took my own life. Failed twice by a system claiming to uphold justice.
These stories, as shocking and as enraging as they are, represent just the tip of the iceberg. How many more Richard Phillips, Kathy Woods, and Daryl Hunts are out there? How many more innocent people are still in prison, forgotten by the very system that swore to protect them? This isn't justice. It's a broken system desperately in need of repair. We need to demand better. We need to demand accountability. We need to demand justice for every single person robbed of their freedom. Because justice delayed is justice denied. Is this justice or a broken system? Should they have received more compensation? Comment below. Like, share, and comment if you believe justice should never be delayed.